So for this week's special topic, we are talking about reducing electron and cancer. So as we all know, cancer is very common these days. Even though sometimes you may heard that the people around you, like your close friend, your relatives, or even your family member, may develop cancer suddenly, and it doesn't only affect it doesn't only based on the age and gender. So for now, we know that sometimes the children might get cancer as well. So cancer these days already affect not only just adults, from young kids until old elderly. They might also develop cancer at any age lah. Okay. So despite you are going through chemotherapy, electrotherapy, surgery, targeted treatment, natural treatment, or even recovering from cancer, actually we all still need reducing electron. So why do we need reducing electron? This will be the topic that I would like to share with you all today. Okay. So before we can know about why we need reducing electron, especially for cancer patients, we actually need to understand the causes and the reason why people get cancer. So why do people get cancer? How does cancer occur in someone? So according to the research done by Dr. Nobu Horiguchi, he actually found out that the factors that cause cancer are acidic body fluid, reactive oxygen, stress, poor cell metabolism, low immunity, and inflammation. So for all these factors, they actually contribute to make cancer develop in a person's body. So now I would like to share with you one by one in more detail of how does these factors cause cancer. So we all know that human body consists of 70% of water, and this water is actually the home of our cells. So like we human, we have our own house as well. So if we want to stay comfortably, healthily, we are always hoping for that we have a home that is nice, that is clean, that is suitable for us to stay in. So for ourselves, they actually require the same thing. They want their home to be suitable for them to live in, for them to be healthy as well. So what is the difference in the body fluid of a cancer patient? So cancer patients actually have an acidic body, which means that 70% of their water is acidic. And due to the water, which is the home to our cells live in the water. Once our water becomes acidic, it will affect the cells as well. Because once your water become acidic, the cells actually will undergo aging, damage, and also finally they will lead to cell death. So your body will be lack of healthy cells because they cannot survive in the acidic body fluid. So for cancer patients, because they already have an acidic body, which means their water is already acidic. So instead of providing the cells a nice environment to stay in, their healthy cells will be affected, which is why you can see their disease of the progress of the disease sometimes is very fast because they lack of healthy cells to help them to fight with the cancer. So acidic body fluid may initiate cancer because it already affects the healthy cells. So for the next one, I would like to share on how blood pH and reactive oxygen initiate cancer. So reactive oxygen is actually something that is very harmful to our body, which is not good. And because of this imbalanced blood pH, it will cause the accumulation of acid, oxidized substances, reactive oxygen, and the acidification of extracellular fluid, which is also known as the acidic water lah, that I've mentioned just now. So all of these harmful substances, when they start to accumulate in our body, they will actually lead to the damage of cell membrane. So cell membrane is actually like the door of our house. It helps us to guard the things that come in and out from our cell. So they allow the nutrients to go in and then help our cell to excrete all the waste to go out. So you can imagine once the cell membrane is damaged, it's like a thief broke into your house, they damage your door. So anything can come in through your door already because there's nothing to block the entrance. So once the cell membrane is damaged, all these harmful substances, like I mentioned just now, the acid, oxidized substances, reactive oxygen, can enter into the cell to attack our cell nucleus and gene. So once the cell nucleus and gene is damaged, it will lead to carcinogenesis. So what is carcinogenesis? It is actually the process of our healthy cells transform into cancer cells because their gene is already damaged by all of the harmful substances. So once their gene is damaged, they will cause our healthy cells to develop into cancer cells. So this is how cancer happens because of reactive oxygen damaging the gene inside our normal cells. So as a final result, the cancer cells will reproduce and grow. So your body will have more and more of these cancer cells in it. And so that you, sometimes when you go to hospital, that's the time that you find out that you have cancer. And there's a lot of cancer cells in your body already. Okay. So this is how reactive oxygen initiate cancer, is by damaging the gene of our normal cell. So for our cell metabolism, it actually plays an important role, not only to cancer patient, to a healthy person as well. We always have to ensure that our cell metabolism is at the optimal state, which means that our cell can carry out cell metabolism. Okay, so cell metabolism is actually a very simple process. It's a process whereas our cell take in all the nutrients, convert into energy, and then excrete out all the waste. So by maintaining this good cycle, you can say that your cell metabolism is very active. Okay, but for cancer patient, as you can see on the top part, they actually have acidic extracellular fluid, like I've already mentioned just now also. So during when they have this acidic extracellular fluid, their insulin is not able to function. So what is the function of insulin? Is actually to help us to transport all the nutrients, glucose, fat, and protein into our cell. So once the insulin is not able to function, all these nutrients cannot be transported into cell for metabolism. So they will start accumulating outside, and then for long term, they will be oxidized, and then they will be converted into toxic substances. So this will indirectly affect our body pH as well. As for a healthy person, because a healthy person should have weak alkaline extracellular fluid. So in this situation, their insulin is able to function, which means that their nutrients, glucose, fats, proteins, etc. can be transported into cell for metabolism and can be converted into energy for our body to use. So if nutrients cannot be transported into cell for metabolism, they will be converted to oxidized substance, which will harm our cells. So in order to prevent damage to our cell, we also need to ensure that our cell metabolism is always in a good state. So the next one, how reducing electron help chemo patient. So we know that the most common treatment that cancer patients undergo for now is chemotherapy. So chemotherapy is actually a treatment that uses medication to help them to kill all the cancer cells in the body. So we know that chemo patients, they always have side effects depending on themselves. Some is they might have nausea, fever, everything of the side effects that sometimes you can see on cancer patients. So actually, reducing electron can help chemo patient to lighten their side effects and also to help them to maintain a healthy body. So according to Chinese medicine from Taiwan, cancer is actually a chronic disease if you do not stimulate it to accelerate. Means that you don't trigger the cancer to progress very fast. So it will be a chronic disease. So it will progress very slow. Okay. So body fluid of cancer patients consists of positive ions due to their acidic body. Like I've always mentioned, cancer patients have acidic body. So if they have an acidic body, means their body is full of positive ions. And these positive ions are harmful to our cells. So if cancer patients do not have reducing electron in their body to help them to eliminate positive ions and to convert acidic body fluid to weak alkaline, the progression of cancer will be enhanced. Because cancer cells actually favors acidic environment. So you can imagine cancer patients already have an acidic body. If their body is lack of this reducing electron, means they always are in the acidic state. Cancer cells actually like that kind of environment. It's their favorite spot to grow. So they will keep growing and growing. That's why sometimes you can see the cancer patient, the progression of cancer will be very fast. Like within a few weeks, the spread of the cancer cells will be very fast already. If they have reducing electron, the function of reducing electron is to help them to eliminate all these positive ions. So once the positive ions are eliminated, their acidic body fluid will be converted into weak alkaline. Weak alkaline is suitable for our healthy cells to survive in. It's not suitable for cancer cells. Cancer cells doesn't like weak alkaline environment. So if cancer patients have enough of reducing electron in their body, they will help them to control the progression of cancer more stable, not to let it progress very fast. Okay. And the next thing I would like to mention is regarding the pain of the last stage of cancer patient. So if you can see, some of the last stage cancer patient, they are really weak and their body may experience lots of pain. Like I mentioned just now, as cancer cells favor acidic environment, they will reproduce and grow uncontrollably in it. Means we cannot control the growth. They will keep growing and spreading everywhere. So when this occurs, cancer cell may actually affect our nerve system, which cause cancer patients to experience pain. Because cancer cells, they spread to anywhere when it is acidic. So it may attach to our nerve as well. So nerve, we have the pain nerve, we have the sensory, all the sensory are controlled by the nerve. So once the nerve is affected, the cancer patient may experience pain. So at this time, morphine, which is usually given by the doctors to help them to ease the pain, may not be able to suppress the pain easily. So even they take in morphine, sometimes they feel like it doesn't help them. But for reducing electron, it actually can help through neutralizing body fluid, like I mentioned just now, which is to convert the acidic to weak alkaline, to create a suitable environment for our healthy cells to live in. So once our healthy cells are able to survive, they can actually help the cancer patients to fight against the cancer cells, to not let them to progress so fast, so that they can lessen the pain and the suffer of cancer patients. Okay. Now, another thing about chemotherapy is about the metastasis of cancer cells, which means sometimes patients that undergo chemotherapy, their cancer cells metastasize, means they spread faster after they do chemotherapy. So the reason behind this is because everything contains electrons, including our medication, our food, even our environment, the air that we breathe in. They all contains electron. But most of the patients are receiving chemotherapy, they do not know that this chemotherapy actually consists of electrons as well. Because chemotherapy, like I mentioned, they uses medication to help to kill the cancer cells. And medications contains positive ions which are harmful to the body. So in order to prevent damage to the healthy cells, cancer patient actually need a reducing electron to help them to eliminate all these positive ions from the chemotherapy, and then to help them to prevent their body fluid from becoming acidic, or even to help them to relieve their side effects. So they need reducing electron to balance back their body pH and to prevent damage of the healthy cells. So the main objective of reducing electron is to cancer patient is to help them to maintain the correct body fluid, which is weak alkaline, so their cancer cells will not grow very fast and spread, and also to help them to ease out their side effects. So another thing I would like to highlight during this sharing is about self-defense diagnosis. So aside from all the factors that I've mentioned just now, this self-defense is very important, not only to cancer patients or other diseases, also is very important to a healthy person. Because self-defense is the strength to avoid diseases which we are naturally born with. So people with strong self-defense power are less likely to develop diseases, because our body is able to fight against all the virus, the bacteria that we encounter. So for cancer patients, they mainly have a weaker self-defense. This is why their body is weak, and sometimes they do not only encounter cancer, they might have other issues to their body as well, like other disease lah, they will come together. It's because they have a weaker self-defense. Their body is not able to help them to fight against diseases effectively. So for this self-defense diagnosis, it actually consists of the following three elements. The first one is the level of cellular metabolism. So I have mentioned about the cell metabolism just now. In order to prevent oxidized substance accumulating in our body to harm our healthy cells, we have to ensure that our cell metabolism is always at a good state. The second one is the strength of immunity. So immunity is actually our first line of defense of our body. Whenever we encounter any viruses, bacteria, our immune system is the first thing that will act against them. So if a person have a strong immunity, their body will be able to fight diseases. So for cancer patients, mainly their immunity is quite low, which is why we need to help them to boost up their immunity for them to fight against cancer. So the last one is the level of inflammation sedation. So inflammation actually can be caused by a lot of factors. It can be caused by some of the factors, for example, radiation from your electrical device, pollution, environmental pollution, stress, and a lot more of these factors can actually cause inflammation. So if we do not make sure that our inflammation level is at very low, let's say if we have a high inflammation level, we have higher risk to develop diseases. Okay. So if these three elements, you maintain them at the correct level, at the optimal state, you are considered to have a strong self-defense, which means that your body is healthy and is strong enough to fight against diseases. So for cancer patient, most of the cancer patient, their self-defense is quite low, which means that one or more of these elements are already affected. So in order to help them, we have to make sure that we help them to increase their self-defense, to let their body to have the ability to fight against cancer. Okay. So for cancer patient, like I mentioned just now, all the factors and some of the information regarding chemotherapy, the side effects. One thing that can actually help them is reducing electron therapy. So this reducing electron therapy is aimed to treat the root of disease, which is the fundamental of our body, which is our cells. So why do we target the root of disease instead of symptoms. Like the medication that doctor give you when you usually go to see doctor when you have disease. For example, the Panadol, the flu pill, the cough syrup, all these kind of medication, they actually help you in a way that they help you to ease your symptoms. So they help you not to cough, not to have headache. But all the medications, they do not target the root of disease, like the main cause, the initial cause of this disease. So, but for reducing electron therapy, it is aimed to treat all these root of disease, which it targets the fundamental of our body, ourselves. So, for example, you want to build a house, you have to make sure that your fundamental is very strong. So your house will be very strong. Even got thunder, got rain, your house will not collapse. So for our body, it behaves like a house as well. We need a strong fundamental to ensure that our body is always strong, can fight against diseases. Okay. So reducing electron therapy is also considered as a natural therapy, as it could promote regeneration and rejuvenation of the cells without any side effects. Because reducing electron is something that our body originally already have inside. We are born with it. It's just that the exposure nowadays, like pollution, radiation, UV rays, stress that we encounter these days, they actually will use up the reducing electron in our body. If we do not replenish it back, then it will affect our health condition. Okay. But if you use this reducing electron therapy to help you to replenish all the reducing electron that is required by your body, it will actually help you to maintain a healthy body. And because our body needs it and already have it initially, so reducing electron therapy will not have any side effects because we do not give you something extra that your body doesn't need. Your body needs it. That's why your body can accept the reducing electron. The purpose of reducing electron is to increase our body self-defense, and it is a requirement for diseases to be improved. So like I mentioned, the self-defense just now, the triangle, is very important to always ensure that we have a strong self-defense. So the purpose of reducing electron is to help us to increase and maintain it at a good state. So it is not only important to cancer patient, but it's actually important to a healthy person to help you to maintain your health and to prevent diseases. But today, I would like to share more specifically of the benefits of reducing electron in helping to improve the condition of cancer patient. So you can see below, I've listed a few of the benefits or the functions of reducing electron, specifically in helping cancer patients. So the first thing, it helps to maintain weak alkaline body fluid pH. Second is anti-oxidation. Third, de-stress. Fourth, enhances cell metabolism. Fifth, strengthens immunity. And sixth, decreases inflammation. So all these benefits actually target the causes and the factors that I've mentioned just now. So now we'll go into the functions one by one. Okay. So for the first thing is reducing electron maintains weak alkaline body fluid pH. So you can see this equation is actually showing you how reducing electron help us to maintain a weak alkaline body fluid pH. So when our body accumulates positive ions, in this case, you can see it's hydrogen ion that contains a positive charge, the plus sign. Our body fluid will be acidified. So at this state, our body is acidic. This will lead to oxidation and cell damage, which then causes us to develop illness such as cancer. So when your body fluid is acidic, or when your body is in an acidic pH, you will have a higher chance to develop diseases. However, when we introduce this reducing electron into our body, it will help to neutralize the positive ions. It will neutralize the positive charge of the positive ion and convert them into neutral charge atom, which in this case you can see is the hydrogen atom. The neutral charge means they do not have any charge, which is good for our body. Our body fluid will be maintained at a weak alkaline pH at this time, which will enhance our cell activity to help us to achieve health. So we can see how reducing electron help us to maintain a weak alkaline body fluid pH is by neutralizing the positive charge of the positive ion, convert them into an atom which do not have any charge. And when we have this hydrogen atom in our body will be healthy. So we will not get sick easily. Okay. So for the second function is the anti-oxidation. So like similar like just now I mentioned, reducing electron help us to neutralize the positive charge, the positive ions in our body, and convert them into hydrogen atom. So a hydrogen atom will have reducing electron in it. So for the anti-oxidation function, this hydrogen atom will actually carry the reducing electron to help us to convert acidity to weak alkalinity, which means that to maintain our body fluid pH in weak alkaline. Okay, and then as oxidation will damage our cell nucleus and the gene, which I've mentioned during the first few slides. Once our gene is damaged, our normal cells will be converted into cancer cell. So we need to prevent this from occurring. So reducing electron can actually help us to reduce oxidized substances, which means that it will help them to convert back into their original state, which is not harmful to our body, as well as to convert reactive oxygen to water, which is harmless to our body. So when our body is in a weak alkaline state, our oxidized substances are converted back into their original form, and the reactive oxygen is converted into water, which is totally harmless. At this state, our body will be able to maintain in a healthy condition. So we will not be able to get sick easily. Okay. So for cancer patients, when they are in this state, it will help them to control their disease as well, and to help them to alleviate all the side effects of the treatment that they undergo, and also to help them to lessen their pain. Okay. So what will you think of when you are under stress? Some people will think, oh, I want to go out to take in some fresh air. Some will, I need to listen to music, I need to rest, I need to sleep. But a lot of us, we actually didn't think about reducing electron when it comes to stress. However, reducing electron actually can help us to reduce stress. So next time when you are stressed, you can think about reducing electron. Because clinical studies have already proven the effect of reducing electron in distressing and increase our happy hormone, which is known as endorphin. So below this graph, you can see it's actually a clinical study done in Japan hospital. The red bar actually shows the group of people who underwent reducing electron therapy. And you can see before treatment and after treatment, there is an elevation in the endorphin level, which means that reducing electron can actually boost up their happy hormone to make them happy and relaxed, not to be stressed. So for cancer patients, it's actually very helpful as well, because we all know when we are not healthy, we are sick, sometimes we will stress about our own body. We do not know whether we can recover or not. So all these kind of stress can actually be reduced by using reducing electron, because it will help us to boost our happy hormone to help us or even the cancer patient to stay relaxed and happy most of the time. Okay. So here I would like to share more about the cell metabolism. So like if you remember, I just now mentioned cell metabolism is very important as well, because it's a process where our cell will convert the nutrients into energy and help us to remove the waste as well. Okay. So for cell metabolism, it actually requires a few elements. For example, when we want to burn a wood, we require fire and oxygen. So let's say we have fire, we have oxygen, then we can light up a fire. We can light up fire on the wood. But for our cells, what does it require? They actually require the same thing, which is fire and oxygen. So oxygen, we do not need to worry, because every day we are breathing, we take in oxygen into our body as well. But for fire, we cannot use a lighter or we cannot stand on the gas to burn ourselves, right? So what we can do is reducing electron is actually the fire for ourselves. So by inducing reducing electron in your body, it serves the function of fire, which help us to burn the nutrients and convert them into energy. So without reducing electrons, cell metabolism could not occur. Like I mentioned just now also, in the presence of reducing electron, insulin will be able to function and bring in the nutrients into our cells. And with the combination of oxygen and reducing electron, so we already fulfill the requirement of our cells. So the nutrients will be converted into energy for the usage of our body, and the waste will be transported out of the cell. So in order to maintain a good cell metabolism, we have to ensure that the process of taking in nutrients, convert them into energy, and excrete the waste, this cycle is carried out completely. We cannot miss out any step. So in order to ensure the cycle keep going on like this, we have to ensure our body always have reducing electron and oxygen. Okay. And for immunity, reducing electron does help to increase immune system as well. So like I've already mentioned, our immune system is important to help us to fight any diseases or infections. As for cancer patients, immune system is the most important element in their body to help them to fight against cancer cells. So we also have clinical study done that was conducted on HIV patients, which proven the effect of this reducing electron in strengthening our immune system. So as we know, for HIV patient, there is currently no cure. So the only thing that can help them to fight against this HIV virus is to rely on their immune system. So immune system is very important to HIV patient, which is similar to cancer patient. Cancer patient also need a very strong immune system to help them to fight against their cancer cells. So you can see the graph here. The top two groups are the people who underwent reducing electron therapy. And you can see the darker line in the middle with the dots, the 4 dots. You can see the top two groups, they actually have an increasing line, which means that there is a significant increase in their CD4 plus T lymphocytes. These CD4 plus T lymphocytes is actually one of the important immune cells that help us to fight diseases. So we have, let's say if we have a strong and a lot of these T lymphocytes, our immune system is considered very strong. So you can see both of the groups above, they have an increased line for their CD4 T lymphocytes, which proves that reducing electron therapy can help them to strengthen their immune system. So for the two groups down below, you can see the line is very like stable, just one line, hardly any changes because they do not use reducing electron therapy. So reducing electron is actually the basic requirement of our body. For basic elements, we are already taught by our teachers since primary school, since kindergarten. What we all know is that our body needs water, oxygen, nutrients, protein, carbohydrate, vitamin, fat, and others. But what we do not know that is our body actually needs reducing electron. A healthy human body actually needs 13 billion of reducing electron per day in order to be healthy. And this is research done by WHO, which they found out that human body actually needs 13 billion of reducing electron in order to be healthy. So like I mentioned just now, because our exposure in this time is very different from long time ago. We have stress, we have all the mobile devices, we have the computers, the radiation, the UV rays, the pollution. All these kind of things actually will deplete and use up all of our reducing electron. So if we do not give back our body the reducing electron that they need, they do not have anything to help us to eliminate all these harmful substances. So in long term, these substances will accumulate in our body, which will cause our body to get diseases easily. So what we can do is to make sure that our body has enough of reducing electron every day to help us to eliminate all these harmful substances in order to help us to maintain a healthy body. Okay. So human body is actually made up of 60 and 100 trillions of cells. And like I've said, cells are the fundamental units of our life, health, and beauty, and also to our body lah. So we have to make sure that our cells are always healthy and strong. Reducing electron therapy targets our cells, which allow us to achieve health from the fundamental level. So this is something that is very important. If we want a healthy body, we have to make sure that we have a strong fundamental. Okay, so reducing electron can help us to achieve that. It also enhances our body recovery and natural healing power to help us to fight diseases. So for this reducing electron therapy, like I've said also, we do not give extra thing that your body doesn't need. What we do is we target the fundamental level, our cells, to make your cells to become healthy and to let you to use your own power of your body to help you to fight diseases and to recover. So it is actually natural and no side effects. So for the reducing electron and cancer sharing, I hope you understand more about the relationship between reducing electron and cancer. How does cancer occur? Why cancer patients need reducing electron? So if you have a further question or you would like to know more, you can actually contact us. We have our phone number and also our website for you to read more information regarding not only for cancer disease, we have information for other diseases as well. So if you are interested to look into that, you can also go to our website, or any question you can also ask by contacting the phone number provided here. Okay, so for today, reducing electron and cancer is until here. So now I would like to open the Q&A session. So anyone of you have question that you want to ask or something that you would like to share, you can unmute or you can just type in the chat box.